Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Today we're going to go over what you should be doing with the second overall pick in fantasy football if it happens to fall that way to you. Now, I will say we did 2 mock drafts in this video that we're going to go over. The one team is pretty good and the other team is a little suspect. I can't lie, we went a little too short on the running back position. Just make sure you guys get enough running backs when you do your draft. But I will say the most effective thing to do with this number 2 pick is draft either running back and then a receiver, or a receiver and then a running back. The 2 options would probably be either Christian McCaffrey as the second overall pick or Jamarr Chase. And then you're going to go opposite for the next round. So let's say if you get Christian McCaffrey in that first round with the second overall pick, then you would be looking for a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle for your second round pick. And then if you get Jamar Chase as your second pick overall, then you're looking for a guy like Tony Pollard or Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, one of those guys. Then you can build the rest of your roster and it'll be balanced out. Personally, in this video, we end up getting Justin Jefferson with pick number 2, but normally he is going to go as number 1 overall. And then I think the second time, I think we took Christian McCaffrey the second time. So one draft, we have Justin Jefferson, and then one we had Christian McCaffrey. You guys will see how it plays out. Anyways, guys, enjoy the video and subscribe to the channel for more fantasy football content, of course. All right, everybody, so we got the number 2 slot. Let's start up this draft, see who goes off the board first. It's actually going to be Christian McCaffrey. I've seen this happen a couple times in underdog fantasy leagues and stuff like that, but it's not really too common. Once again, these guys are CPU. They're robots. So they're not going to pick Justin Jefferson every single time. You know, people might have differing opinions, but I would probably take Justin Jefferson every single time. So we're going to get him here at the number 2 selection. I wouldn't count on getting him at number 2 in your normal leagues, but it is what it is. This is the closest thing we got to a real mock draft here. So we're going to wait to see who we get on round number 2 and round number 2 here. So Justin Jefferson is our first selection. Don't hate that at all. And then we're going to easily, it's not even a question here. Well, it actually is a question because you could either go with Tony Pollard right here, or you could go with a guy like Jalen Hurts. But I think we're going to go with Tony Pollard. We're going to skip out on the quarterback for now. If he falls to us somehow, I don't think he's going to, but if he falls to us, we'll take Jalen Hurts next. But we want to have a nice little 1-2 punch with Jefferson and Tony Pollard. That would be, I love both of those guys. So Ramondre and Chris Olave go off the board. I think it's a real no-brainer pick here. The last elite quarterback left on this list, Mahomes, Allen, Jalen Hurts, taking Jalen Hurts right there. Jefferson, Pollard, Hurts. We have 3 elite players in 3 different positions. So probably going to lean towards a wide receiver on the turn. So Amari Cooper's available. These running backs are just disgusting at this point. Honestly, I would skip over all of these guys until it gets to around DeAndre Swift. And Swift is going very early. In underdog drafts, he goes around like pick number 70. So that's like a more decent range for Swift, but 59 is way too early for him. I'd probably wait all the way down until Javonte Williams, Rachaad White area to grab another running back after Tony Pollard. We take a look at the wide receivers and the tight ends here. George Kittle's on the board as well, but I think we're going to skip over him. Amari Cooper, I think, is the clear choice right there as our second wide receiver. And then Terry McLaurin falls to us as well. You could take a shot on DJ Moore right there with the potential upside in a new offense. Jerry Jeudy's down here at number 54. I probably wouldn't reach that far for Jerry Jeudy. I don't know. Jerry Jeudy's an elite talent. He played very well in the second half of the year here. Terry McLaurin or Jerry Jeudy? Listen, I've been drafting a lot of Jerry Jeudy, so I'm going to go Terry McLaurin right here. I probably would have went Jerry Jeudy right there if this was for a lot of money. Take McLaurin. We have Amari Cooper. We have Justin Jefferson. We have one good running back, one very good running back, let's say. So now we're at the point where Rachaad White is there. I'm wondering if we wait on Rachaad White, if we can get him in the next round. It's tough. When you're drafting at this number 2 slot, you gotta think of all the possibilities. You could get sniped by this turnaround here by team number 1 for the player that you like. Let's switch it up. We'll go Mike Williams and see if he falls to us. And Rachaad White doesn't fall to us. Of course he doesn't. But Javonte Williams is still there. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go with Javonte Williams. Christian Kirk's still there though. Damn it. Ooh. Either we wait to get another running back. The next good running back will probably be available is around AJ Dillon or Antonio Gibson. And as the number 2 running back on your team, I don't love that per se. Javonte Williams should be the starter on the Denver Broncos. So I am going to go with Javonte Williams, but I do like Christian Kirk a lot. I must say that. I have to say it. Be an absolute blessing if Evan Ingram would fall to us, but that's never going to happen. Let's see who's going to be available for tight end for us. Pat goes off the board. I don't know who we're going to get at tight end, honestly. We might have to wait a little bit longer. Yep, there goes Pat, 2 before us. So now we're going to wait at tight end. I've been saying this a lot. I'll wait down until Tyler Higbee or Greg Dulcich, honestly, for tight ends. Quentin Johnson is a solid receiving option. I'm not jumping down for Schultz. So we're going to take Quentin Johnson. He's been looking good in training camp. And then we get another selection right here. Brandon Cooks available. You could argue, I guess you could argue Juju. He is the number 1 and Zay Flowers. I'm not a big fan of Gabe Davis here though. So we'll take Brandon Cooks there. Let's take a look quickly at how our team is panning out. We have Jefferson, Pollard, Hurts, Cooper, McLaurin, Williams again, Johnston, and Brandon Cooks. So we're going to need another running back here. We're going to take McKinnon right here for the potential upside on this Chiefs offense. He played great last year. I think he's going to get a lot of playing time. So just noticing that, by the way, Damian Harris is already questionable. He has missed a ton of time in the last couple of seasons. So hopefully he can stay healthy on that Buffalo Bills team. People that are available: Adam Thielen, a Conewall. I don't mind a Conewall. I might take a risk on a Conewall right here. I'm going to do it. All right. I haven't drafted him nearly at all for some reason, but I'm going to take a risk on him as our tight end number 1 in this league. So our team's not coming out too bad. We're going to be honest with ourselves. I think we could have a little bit better running back depth, but the wide receivers, to me, they have a lot of upside potential, which is good, especially in a best ball league. And you're anchored down by Justin Jefferson. Now, it would be totally different if we didn't get Justin Jefferson with that second pick, but we did, so we don't have to talk about that. And Rondale Moore is going to fall to us right here. I think we're going to take Rondale Moore. Don't have to really think about that pick too much. I'm honestly a pretty big fan of Rondale Moore going into this upcoming season. So now it's about that time where I'd start looking at maybe a second quarterback, unless we get a real value here at wide receiver, which we don't. Gerald Everett. Okonkwo might not be the best option every single week, so I think we are going to go with Gerald Everett right there. So we do have every position. I mean, we got every position locked down here. I think I'm going to look for a second quarterback here potentially, at least with the second pick on this turnaround. Jordan Love goes off the board. Ooh, not taking 3 quarterbacks in a row, that's for sure. I guess I'll take Justin Ross here once again on this Chiefs offense, who scored a lot of points. All right, I would have been pretty annoyed if they took CJ Stroud. So we're going to take CJ Stroud here as a backup to Jalen Hurts. Don't mind that at all. I know he played pretty crappy in his first preseason game, but it is what it is. He's not going to struggle his whole career. He's not going to get benched because of that. So relax. It was his first time. Everybody struggles in their first time, you know what I mean? One of the last selections in this draft. We have 2 quarterbacks. We have 2 running backs. I'm not gonna take all day and think about it too much. These are usually the guys that are available on this turn here at the end of the draft, if you're not talking about getting a defense. So I guess I'll take Hunter Renfrow here. I took Donovan Peoples-Jones in the last video, so we'll switch it up. Haven't taken any Marvin Mims or any of these guys down here, really. Tank Dell played really well. You know what? Screw it. We'll take Tank Dell. He played well in his preseason game, so we'll give him a bit of credit. So let's take a look at our team right here. I'll gray out the rest for you guys, per usual. Justin Jefferson, Tony Pollard, Jalen Hurts. So let's just go over it with the... Let's go over our team with the positions first, all right? So at wide receiver, we're pretty stacked at wide receiver. Justin Jefferson, Amari Cooper has that elite upside. Terry McLaurin is always a consistent option for you in fantasy. Mike Williams, total boomer bust guy. I've had him on my team a couple times in the last couple of seasons, and you know, either he goes off and scores 25 points, or he's hurt for half the season and then struggles to get back into the flow of things, and then it's just a disaster, or he scores like 2 points. So total boomer bust with Mike Williams. Quentin Johnston. We got 2 Chargers wide receivers. I got a lot of faith in this Chargers offense. Brandon Cooks is a solid selection, in my opinion, on a new team. Finally, not on a trash team. Rondale Moore played pretty good until his injury last season. Justin Ross, we don't know how he's going to play, but he's on a great offense. And then Tank Dell. We just had to select Tank Dell that last selection because he played so well in his first preseason game. Running backs on this team. We only ended up drafting 3 running backs, so we were sleeping heavy on the running backs. Normal leagues, you're playing 2 running backs, so this might be a problem. If one of these guys gets injured, then we got a real problem on our hands. So hopefully in the next mock draft, I'll go a little bit heavier at the running back position. We have Tony Pollard, Devontae Williams, so 2 starters on their respected teams, and then Jerick McKinnon, who is a pass down running back on the Chiefs team that scores a lot of points. And then our tight ends for this league, Okonwo and Gerald Everett. Clear as day, running back is the weakest spot on this team. So let's do another draft at pick number 2 and see how things turn out. A little more focused on the running back side of things. All right, here we go. We finally got him to select Justin Jefferson. I just realized that you could select who you want the team to take. I didn't know you could do that personally, but we're going to get Christian McCaffrey here at the number 2 slot and then see how the rest of this draft plays out compared to the last team that we drafted at pick number 2. But like I said, a lot of people are drafting Justin Jefferson at the 1-1 spot. I would personally do that. Then either Jamarr Chase after that or Christian McCaffrey. Very interesting thing to note right here. We don't have an option of taking one of these elite quarterbacks here. As you can tell, Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts are off the board. Once again, I'm going to go with Tony Pollard here on this turn because I think his potential is higher than Josh Jacobs. And who knows whether Josh Jacobs is going to hold out or not or what the situation's looking like there. So we're going to take Tony Pollard. And they take Chris Olave, which sucks. I didn't want them to take Chris Olave right there, honestly. So we have McCaffrey and Pollard. Our running backs are stacked. You'd either take Mark Andrews here, and I'm not the biggest fan of Mark Andrews. But considering this league does have tight ends, considering that Travis Kelce went off the board at pick number 5, in a non-tight end league, I think it would be a lot different. But in a tight end league, Mark Andrews on the board at this point. Ramondre Stevenson is who I'm really torn on because Ramondre is a great player, and that would be the most stacked backfield I've ever seen. I guess we'll go Mark Andrews. You suckered me in. Stevenson went all the way 4 picks later. I'm very curious to see how that would have turned out if we took Stevenson. And I might have messed up by not taking Olave with that 2nd round pick, apparently. I don't think you can pass up Tony Pollard to pick Chris Olave that early. So now we got to go receiver because we got nothing going at receiver in round number 4. So I guess we'll go D-Hop as our first wide receiver. Not crazy about that at all. So we got D-Hop as our first wide receiver. We either take a risk with DJ Moore here, absolutely popping off. I don't think he's going to be too consistent is the only problem. So I didn't do it in the last draft. I'm going to do it in this draft. I'm going to drop down to Jerry Jeudy, unless I find a better selection here. If we take a look at everybody, we could grab Justin Herbert right here, but then we're just really risking that our wide receiver is going to be super weak, and we just can't have that. So Jerry Jeudy as our 2nd wide receiver, I think we had to do it right there. Maybe Godwin falls to us? No, of course not. And they both get sniped by the CPU right before us. Gotta love that. And I'm not a big fan of Michael Pittman, so we're gonna stray away from that. Let's see who's available. Michael Pittman is the first one available. Okay. All right. This is just like last time where we didn't select Christian Kirk and then he fell back to us. I think it's going to be the same sort of situation. I'm going to take Marquise Brown right here. I'm debating. Do I take Michael Pittman right here? Oh, God. All right, Michael Pittman. All right, we took Pittman. Kirk and White go off the board, which 2 players I like a lot. All right, Marquise Brown, get over here, man. All right, so he picked Hopkins, Jeudy, Pittman, and Marquise Brown. 4 wide receivers back to back. I think we got to go towards a quarterback at this point. And now we're towards the quarterbacks, which I'm not huge fans of either. But do we like Dak that much? Do we really like Dak that much? I think we could wait a little bit more on running backs. We got 2 solid running backs, but I don't want to go. I'm not really a huge fan of Brian Robinson. And we could also wait for a quarterback. All right, I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to wait for a quarterback. We'll take Brian Robinson here. Okay, that's fine. That's a fine selection with Michael Thomas going off the board. Now, I could take Juju on this offense, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about Zay Flowers. So I'm going to take Zay Flowers. I think. Yeah, we're going to take Zay Flowers right there. We have our quarterbacks available. I think our quarterback in Daniel Jones hopefully will still be available when we get back around. So I'll take Jerick McKinnon once again here in this draft. Okay, they didn't take Daniel Jones. So we'll take Daniel Jones here. Jared Goff is a solid option as well, though. But Daniel Jones has the legs on him, which Jared Goff doesn't really run the ball too much. So Daniel Jones is our #1 quarterback, and now I have to make it a mission to draft another quarterback fairly soon. I got to get one of these guys that can potentially compete with Daniel Jones for points, especially in a best ball league. Maybe I'd go 3. Maybe I'd go 3 quarterbacks in a draft like this. Jalen Hyatt available. Gerald Everett's still there. Let's take a different selection here. I mean, I haven't selected much of Kendre Miller. He would be our 5th running back to match with our 5 wide receivers. Would be a very balanced team here. Kyler goes off the board. We got Derek Carr available. We got Jordan Love available. Or we could wait and we could grab CJ Stroud later on. I think that's what we're going to do. No, we can't. All right, Derek Carr. I had Derek Carr last season for a good portion towards the end, and he had a couple weeks where he sucked. He scored like 2 points and handed the ball to Josh Jacobs about 450 times in a row. So that was not good. And then he had a couple weeks where he threw like 3 interceptions, 2 or 3 interceptions or something like that. I'm not a huge fan of Derek Carr. Kenny Pickett is available here. And then for tight ends, we have Taysom Hill available. DJ Chark on the board for receivers. I don't mind that pick at all. I'm going to take DJ Chark right there and then snag 3 quarterbacks potentially. I'm going to take 3 quarterbacks and I'm going to grab a tight end on the way back, and that's going to be our draft. Let's see how it turns out. All right, team number 2, draft number 2. I think this team turned out a lot better than the first one, to be honest with you. We drafted a lot more running backs. We have a lot more depth there. Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, Brian Robinson, Jerick McKinnon, and Kendre Miller at the running back position. Our wide receivers in this draft, definitely the weak spot. We have Hopkins, Judy, Pittman, Brown, DJ Chark, and Zay Flowers. Skipped over him, my bad. The potential here for the wide receiver position is not what I like to see at all. Like, these are guys that are, I just don't know. I don't know if they're explosive enough to win me a best ball league or win you your fantasy league. They're consistent players, don't get me wrong. If this is in a redraft league and you want consistent 15 fantasy points from most of your wide receivers, then Hopkins, Judy, or I'm going to take Judy out of this equation because I really like Jerry Judy. Out of all the receivers that we have, I think Jerry Judy is the best value. Hopkins, 15 points a game. Pittman can get you similar to that, 10 to 15 points. Marquise Brown, he does have the potential to get around those 20 PBR fantasy points if he has good games. Zay Flowers could be explosive. DJ Chark isn't going to be explosive for you. He's going to get those 10 to 15 fantasy points a game. So the real potential for us for explosive wide receivers on this team, in my opinion, would be Jerry Judy and Zay Flowers. So these other 3 guys, consistent. These other 4 guys, consistent, but I don't know the upside for them. Our tight ends, Mark Andrews, not a bad selection, but I'm not a fan of him in the 3rd round. I'd probably wait longer and get a guy like Okonwo, Dulcich, who else? Evan Ingram and Njoku. I like that area. Pat Freiermuth, Darren Waller. Not really a fan of Kyle Pitts, but usually I'll fall down to those guys and draft them instead of getting Andrews super early. And then we got Hayden Hurst just as a little backup option. Our quarterbacks are also very weak in this team. So wide receivers, not the most explosive, not the highest upside. They're solid overall options. And our quarterbacks, once again, they're not great. Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, and Kenny Pickett. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of these 2 drafts at the number 2 draft position. If you want me to make a video of the number 3 position, just shoot me a comment down below. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.